Welcome to Haas's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a roasted cherry tomato salsa. It is summertime here in Michigan, and we're starting to get a lot of tomatoes, jalapenos, and other things in the garden. So we went out last night and picked some cherry tomatoes and jalapenos. I'll show you a video of that right now. And sometimes you get so many cherry tomatoes, I don't know what to do with them. You can eat plenty of them, but I hate to waste anything. So I thought, well, let's make some salsa. So I Googled cherry tomato salsa, and this one popped up. It looks delicious. And the blog is peasandcrayons.com. So a shout out to them, and I'll link to the recipe below. But I've never made this before, so we're just going to make it. And if you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's go through what you need and the recipe. So you need 1 pint of cherry tomatoes, and a pint is 2 cups. You need 1/4 of a white onion, 2 jalapenos, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 lime juiced. You need a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon dried oregano, 1 cup of fresh cilantro chopped, and 1 to 2 Roma tomatoes diced to put on top. What I'm going to do, since I have so many, I'm going to double the recipe, and I'm going to make 2 versions. One a spicy version, one a mild version. So I'm going to get started prepping everything, and we'll see you in a bit. So step 1, I'm fortunate enough to have a double oven. So I'm going to put the oven rack on the second to the highest shelf on both of them, turn the broiler on high, and preheat the ovens. Then what we're going to do is roast the vegetables. So I have 2 trays here. Again, I'm making a double recipe of each one, and I'm going to spray a little spray on the foil. So I've got some foil in the pan. We're going to spread the tomatoes out on each one of these. And then what I'm going to do is we are going to roast, for one of them, roast the jalapenos whole. This is going to be the spicy one because we're going to keep the seeds. The other one, I'm going to show you how to remove the seeds of the jalapeno to make it mild. And then what I'm going to do with the onion, each one's going to have a half an onion, and I'm just going to cut the onion into quarters and then kind of spread out the quarters a little bit just so they're some nice sized chunks. I'm going to show you how to take the seeds and the white stuff out of a jalapeno. And what this will allow you to do is you get the jalapeno taste, but it's not going to be super spicy because all the heat is in the seeds and the white ribs of the jalapeno. So you take a jalapeno like this and cut off the end, and then you're going to take your knife and cut it lengthwise. So it's in half, so it looks like this. And then take a spoon and just take the tip of the spoon and just get in there and kind of scrape out the inside of the jalapeno till you don't have any seeds or any of the white stuff. Like that, and it's going to look like that on the inside. So now we're going to roast these, and these are going to go in the mild one, and it's not going to be quite as spicy. The oven is ready, and our veggies are ready as well. And all I did with the onion was I peeled it, I cut it into quarters, and just kind of peeled the quarters in a nice sized chunk. So we've got our tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos. They're going to go in there, and the recipe says 5 minutes. Pull it out, rotate it 180 degrees, and another 5 minutes. So I'm going to put those in, and in the meantime, I'm going to prep the garlic and the lime juice. We're going to juice the limes. What I like to do is roll them around on the cutting board, and that seems to kind of break up the fibers inside and give you more juice. And then I'm going to cut each one in half, and each recipe gets 2 limes. And if you don't have one of these lime squeezers, you got to get one. This one, you can do lemons or limes in it. And you put the lime in, and you just squeeze it like that. And we're going to do that. So again, each recipe gets 2 limes, and I'm going to juice the limes, and then we'll do the garlic. Couple things. Our timer went off, so I rotated everything. It's roasting nicely. When they come out of the oven, I'm going to put them on these really nice silicone trivets or trivets. Not sure how you say the word, but these are from ThermoWorks. I really like these a lot. They're really good for getting like a jar off a pickle jar too, because they're kind of rubbery. So the trays will go on those. And now we're going to do the garlic. I really like this garlic press. One, it's got this little cleaning brush to help you get the garlic out of the little holes. But you can either put in a whole garlic clove and not peel it, and it'll it'll do it just fine. Or what you can do is take, I use a bench scraper, take that and you can smash down on it, and that makes it easier to peel. And then you can put the peeled one in here if you'd rather do it that way. So we're going to prep the garlic, and then we'll go from there. Quick little plug on some of the gadgets that I use. I only will show you things that I love and work. So if you want a juicer or a garlic press or a bench scraper or a trivet or a blender or any of those things, I really like all the stuff I have, and there's links below. Things are moving along nicely, and I tell you, it smells wonderful in here. The veggies are done. That was a total of 10 minutes in the oven. They look really good, and we took a photo of them. I'll show you that right now. We've got the garlic all prepped, the lime juice, the spices are measured. The last thing I need to do before we actually make the salsa is to chop up my cilantro and chop up some Roma tomatoes, and these are from the garden as well. And I'm going to show you how I chop up a Roma. I have a really nice sharp knife. I cut the ends off like that, and then I don't really want the guts. I just want the flesh of the tomato. So I come in and I kind of run my knife along the inside of it like this, like that. And then you can kind of just take out all the guts, and all you're left with is the flesh. And then I'll just cut that, and then I'll cut them into strips like that, and then I'll cut across the strips, and then you got a really nice dice. So there's a tip on tomatoes. So I'll finish these up and prep the cilantro, and then we're going to make the salsa. The instructions say to let the veggies cool a little bit and make sure you keep the juice. So we did that. It also says you can either use a blender or a food processor. I've never made it before, so we're going to make one batch in the blender, one in the food processor. We'll see which one works out better. Everything's prepped. Everything's going to go in here except for the chopped tomatoes and the cilantro. That goes in last. So I'm going to work on getting this stuff in there, and we'll see you in a bit. I'm going to do my best just to pick this whole foil thing up and try to get it right down in the blender here. And this is the mild one. So the mild is going in the blender. We've got the spicy one. Going to try and do the same thing. And that is going in the food processor. The veggies are in. Now we're going to add the spices. Add the lime juice. Add the garlic. I'm going to do that for the blender as well, and then we'll pulse them. All right, starting with the food processor, which is the spicy one. We've pulsed it about 6 times. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to, so maybe 8 to 10 pulses. It's looking still a little chunky, but pretty smooth. Looking good. Now let's try the blender. Here we go. All right, I've got them both looking about the same, maybe 2 more pulses. Okay, I think the consistency is about the same between the two. I'm going to take the lids off and take a look. After doing it both ways, I think I like the food processor better. It seems to have a better texture to it, and it seemed easier. Everything seemed to mix a little better. So in the future, I'll probably use the food processor to make the salsa. I'm getting excited. I can't wait to try it. We are going to put the spicy one in the red bowl and the mild in the green bowl. So what the recipe says is blend it till it's your desired consistency. And that's a little chunky, but pretty smooth, looking good. I'll scrape the rest of that out in a bit. And then the mild goes in here. Then it says to fold in the cilantro, which I'm going to do right now. Then it says to sprinkle the Roma tomatoes on top, which I'll do that. I'll keep a little on the side and see how I like that. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to try a taste test. Now it's time to try it. I'm excited in looking at it in the bowl. The blender one's definitely a little bit more liquidy. Maybe if we would have pulsed the food processor a few more times, it would have been the same. But let's try it. I'm going to try the mild first. I have not tried it yet, so this is a official reaction. And I'm using 313 chips. If you live in Michigan, these things are awesome. They are by far my favorite tortilla chips. They're just more corny. I don't know how else to describe them, but really like the 313 chips. Not sure if you can get them elsewhere. All right, here's the mild. Mm-hmm. That's a solid salsa. Let me think. It's a little sweet. I don't know if I would add anything to it. That's a good, solid salsa. It's good. Okay, I'm gonna try the hot one now. Let's see how hot this is. All right. It's definitely, oh, that's good. I prefer the hot one. It's gonna get hot here in a second. It's not crazy. That's got a really nice spice to it. I thought it was gonna be super hot. It's not super hot, I don't think. Well, it's building a little bit. We'll see. Anyway, this is great. Thank you again to Peas and Crayons. I usually want to add like more lime juice or salt to things, but I don't think I would. I think this is a really good recipe. So thanks. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you got a bunch of cherry tomatoes in your garden, give this a try, and we'll see you next time on Hossy's Kitchen.